She sure is pretty. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug says I'd love to stay and chat, but I'd be lying. But it's not true. I love you guys. I love chatting with you guys. This is a mug that my daughter got me. I don't know why she got it for me. And I'm pretty sure I've used it one other time. We've had it since before the move, so we've had it for a little bit. So in today's coffee mug, I'd love to chat mug, is the Beach House Teas Fury Forced. This has chamomile, lemon verbena, orange peel, rosemary, lemongrass, northwest cedar tips, and cinnamon chips. And she is chunky. She looks like there's more in there than there actually is because the green parts are just really, you can see them kind of sticking up here, and they're kind of light and fluffy and fly away and everything. Anyway, this is from the January Sips By, which I should have seen by now. Let's go ahead and give her a sip and we can get started. Not really getting much on scent. She did just start steeping, literally just start steaming, so. Okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm not going to say much on the flavor on this right now. I want to see where it goes. I can't explain it. That's why. I think it's the cinnamon, possibly the cedar chips. I'm not sure. We're going to let it set aside and do its thing. And we are going to go ahead and do our thing. So today we are going to be using the new Nomad Verona Amore e Morte palette. And this is a try-on, first try. Y'all know I love Nomad. We weren't too happy with the Christmas palette, but y'all know I love Nomad. So when I saw this and the unique color story and all of that, I mean, it's a gorgeous color story. Hopefully we won't blind you too much. We did show you the color story at the beginning, partly because we don't want to blind you too much. But it's got a really, I think, unique color story. So just being Nomad means that I'm going to go ahead and buy it, right? But this color story was really, really interesting. This is the look I made. I have thoughts, but let's go ahead and get through the look. If you are interested in try-ons and other makeup things, food and geeky things, I hope that if you're not subscribed, you'll subscribe for me. Go ahead and do the other YouTubey things. I can talk. And like and share and comment and all the things. And I really, really would appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get started on this look right now. Hi. I had to think about in advance what I'm going to do. And I will say that the one thing, this is a unique, kind of a unique way to set up the palette, but it does get kind of awkward because with where the mirrors are. But I did try to think of something from the start, so I'm not sitting here hemming and hawing. I kind of know where I'm going to go and what colors I'm going to use, but I also will say this could go wrong in so many ways. We are going to start with this lighter pink. Show you this down here, Paradise. I'm going to put that high up on the brow, and then we're going to deepen a little bit of that with this darker color Dagger near the crease. So we're going to use a floofy brush. This is beautiful. This color is, wow, pink. She pink. Hello, you pink. Very pigmented. Like a lot of people, I've been really waiting for the next Nomad palette. The Christmas palette was disappointing. It is rare for me to be disappointed in one of their palettes. Now, I have decluttered some of their palettes in the past, but not because of quality issues, more color story issues. Just look at that. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. That is the kind of pigmentation and quality that we know them for. Now, the Christmas palette mattes were very good, and I loved the colors. It was their toppers and shimmers that were a problem for me. And I think they were all toppers, but they just didn't work very well. We are gonna, there are 2 toppers in here, and we are actually going to attempt to use one. We will see how that works, right? All right, okay. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this this darker color. It's called Dagger, this darker pink down here. Trying to use both sides of the palette. And I will say it's kind of nice. They do hold, they do take a little effort to open. So that's nice. Go down here. We are just deepening this up a little bit. Heading up. I'm not sure how much of this will end up showing when we're done. I mean, I'm pretty sure the light pink will, but I'm not sure about the dark pink. And in fact, I don't see her actually doing much yet. A little bit. The colors are very similar. One's more of a dusty pink, though. And maybe that's the thing there. I think we're getting to see it a little bit on the outer side there. She just took a little work, probably because it's over a pink. It had been over the gray or a different color from another palette. It might be different. So, might not take so much effort. These embossings are gorgeous. That's why I wanted to show you the palette from the beginning, is that they are gorgeous. And by the time I get done with this, at least some of them are going to be a mess. We already know this, right? Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. All right. Now, I'm going to take this lighter color, Cupid. Light pink, sorry about that. I'm going to take that. I'm going to put that on the inner corner. Actually, no, let me take that back. Cupid is a topper. We're going to take this color Comedy and put that on the inner quarter. And then on the rest of the lid, we are going to put this color Tragedy. And then we're going to take some of that topper Cupid and put it on the middle. So that is the plan. That is the plan. This is the plan. Let's cross our fingers and hope this plan works. I already know that with most of their shimmers, you do need to use a dampened sponge at best. You can, once you've gotten the color in, you can use a brush to help out. You need to use a very stiff brush like one of these to keep the color in place for me. But they're very difficult to put on with just a brush to start off with. So we're going to start with this Comedy. And I think I'm going to go on one side first and then do the other side. Comedy is being difficult. A little bit. You are not liking this sponge. I wonder why. Oh, it feels like I may not have gotten you wet enough. Let me try again. You're not feeling damp at all. Be wet. Always have to have some sort of comedy of errors, she says, tongue in cheek. Come on up. That's helping a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Oh, now that is interesting. I'm going to throw this up here. She looks really orangey in the pan. Doesn't look nearly as orange on the eye. Interesting. Okay, so we are having some issues with this one. She is sealing up on me a bit. Grab some more on the tip if I can. Grab some on the edge. Also not coming up nearly as shiny as I expected her to. Interesting. Interesting. The color isn't bad. Just not matching my expectations from what's in the pan. Like I said, this could go wrong. All right, we're going to take the other side of the sponge tip. And hopefully Tragedy will work. We want Tragedy across the rest of the eye. God, that's a beautiful color. It's purpley, but gray. And she is definitely coming up better than Comedy did for me. I wonder why. I'm going to have to play a little bit with Comedy and see if I can get her to behave. She's definitely more of a gray purple. Although again, I'm not seeing as much shimmer as I expected. Huh. Nomad, what did you do? Their shimmers are usually so nice. And all I'm getting from one is gray and the gray base, and from the other I'm only getting the orange base. Dudes, this is disappointing. Okay. All right. Before I top it with anything, I am going to attempt to grab some of this with my finger. All right, we're getting a little bit better coverage with the finger. Y'all know I hate to do that though, right? I'm seeing more of the purple sheen, purpley pink sheen. I don't know if you guys are, but again, it's sealing up. It's very strange. I shouldn't have to fight you. Maybe this would be better with a not damp brush. I don't know. Starting to see some of that shimmer there now. I hate to do that. I hate to use my fingers. So we're going to try a dry sponge and see what happens with these. Okay, so I'm getting more on Comedy with the dry sponge. I just went straight for a damp sponge. And now I'm seeing more of the shimmer. I don't know if that's because it dried down some. That base dried down some. I'm getting more of that orange in there. Now that I'm doing it this way. Very odd. Very odd. Like I said, I don't usually have this kind of trouble with them. So now we're going to get some of this Comedy and see if we can pick up some of this beautiful color. I mean, the Tragedy. All right, so these seem to work a little better. With a drier sponge tip or your finger. These also seem to have, at least this one does, have a bit more flakiness to it. Interesting. But we got the color in there. I don't know if you can see the color, but we've got the color in there. I'm hoping I can actually brush some of this color Cupid over the middle and get some kind of payout. I am actually going to try a brush. Try to grab some of this. Well, I'm getting some color on there. I don't know if that's going to be enough to do what I'm hoping it'll do. I'm really having to work on picking it up. Colors are gorgeous. So my hope is that this topper will help lighten up the middle. It's transferring. Some of that color is transferring to the pan. And I don't see a whole lot of lighter color coming in. Well, this is unexpected, folks. I don't think that did much. I'm really working it on there. Nomad, please. Don't disappoint me. Picking up the colors. And I'm going to use this to also try to blend into that orangey pink. I don't know, folks. Seen big chunkies. I don't know. Are you seeing any difference? I'm not really. So the toppers, like the toppers in the Christmas palette, I don't know. Oh, really? And they don't pick up on the finger well. Oh my. Although they appear to pick up on the finger better on the sponge tip. I got a lot of color in here. And it's kind of sealing up in the pan. It's very, that's disappointing. All right, I'm going to do the other eye, and then we'll come back and do the whole point and crease thing. These were pretty expensive to not work out. And Angela really loved them, so I don't know, maybe this formula just doesn't work for me. But like I said, gonna go ahead and get the other eye done, and then we will be back. Okay, so I don't even know what to do now. I'm having issues with these shimmer shades, and the topper didn't seem to do anything at all. I'm gonna try and see what this gold one Morte, if that adds any help. Okay, so that seems to be adding a little bit, but like the others, it is just sealing up like crazy. Visually for me, that added a little bit of something brighter than what was on the rest of the lid. So maybe it was just the pink on pink thing. But like I said, these are just, this is weird. These are sealing up. It is very strange. So I'm going to kind of modify what I planned a little bit. I was going to use 3 more colors. Well, I guess I am using 3 more colors after getting my lids done. I think the gold helped a little bit, just a little bit. I don't know. It's being weird to me. I am going to buff these out here just a little bit. Get that line to be a little less harsh. I'm flummoxed. She said that this had become Angela Nyquist, and I seem to agree a lot on colorful palettes and a lot on some of the brands. I don't get some of them, like Cleonod. I don't get Cleonod. They're too expensive for me. But a lot of the brands that we share in common, we tend to have very similar opinions on. And I am going completely the opposite direction with this one. I don't even know. So I am going to get a semi-fluffy brush, and instead of doing what I was planning to do, I'm going to grab some of this dark, it's a matte, I'm going to put it in the crease and do the point. And then I am going to do my detail work with this color Poison, which is the dark, dark blue. I think that's going to be the best bet. I'm not going to get rid of the palette, and we will talk more about that, but these are not cheap palettes, and I don't know if I'm just makeup challenged, which is possible, and there may be, I don't like putting things on my fingers, but these may absolutely require it because the sponge tip only seemed to pick up the base and not really much of the shimmer. So I don't know if these were trying to be multi-chrome, and since I'm multi-chrome challenged, I don't know. But let's go ahead and finish this out and we'll talk some more in a bit. So I'm going to grab some of this dark. I'm using the very end of my brush to grab some of this dark. And we're going to put that in here and over and out this way. And like that. Bring that down a bit. They're not coming here. I'm sure you guys heard that. I don't know who they were, but they're not coming here. I did have someone come here the other night. All right. So one of the other things I'm noticing is like this one dark. Yes, it is going over a slightly lighter color, but these colors in general seem a bit on the lighter side anyway. Really. I may contact them, and now basically I'm going from here to here up at the top, and I'm just kind of going over it again and again to help blend it out a bit. But I may contact them and ask them if they change the formula, because compared to their tropical, the 2 tropical palettes we got last year, this just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just having so much trouble with them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this one done. All right, so I'm going to grab my triangular, pointy, complex culture brush, and we're going to do the Poison in the crease and do my little outward thing that I do. And then I'm going to finish my face, and we will go ahead and talk about it. You know what it is? Well, I mean with the mattes. Even the lighter mattes are kind of dusky. They're not grungy. I think what we're seeing in here for a lot of these is more of a gray-black base. Again, getting a slightly fluffier brush, grabbing some of that Cupid, that light pink, and I'm putting it on the end of my brush, sort of. It's sealing up even without me having my oils on it. Very weird. And I'm going to run that along the top line here and see if we get anything. I don't think, oh, there it is a little bit. Again, I didn't wet the brush. Okay, so you can barely see it, at least the way I'm looking at it, you can barely see it. There is a sheen, there's a shimmer there. It did adjust the color a little bit. I'm not mad at that. So apparently this, at least that particular topper, should not go over a dark color. Like I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish this all up. You know, do all the lining and get the rest of my face on, and then we will go ahead and talk about the palette. Okay, so this is our completed look. I will tell you that my eyes are falling apart underneath and on top. Issues, folks. Issues. I've been having a lot of them lately. Not sure why. Sure, some of it's the foundation. I'm playing around with foundations because NYX is apparently getting rid of their Born to Glow, and some of them are not working out for me so well. The inner corners, we are all used to me having issues with. At any rate, so this is the look. I'm sorry if the inner corners are looking like trash. We are going to talk about that in a little bit too, but that's the look. All right. All right. All right. All right. So first of all, the mattes did not disappoint, but they're Nomad mattes. It doesn't feel like they did anything differently with this palette than they have done with other palettes previously, particularly in the more recent, mostly last year, I guess, and just a few from the year before that. It's like they got into a really good groove there, and the mattes are great, and the shimmers were great, and then they got their Christmas palette, and the mattes were still great, the shimmers were not. But the shimmers were toppers, and so I assumed it was because they were toppers that we were having issues with it. After this palette, no. I'm sorry. I don't know if these are supposed to be duochromes. Nowhere on the website does it say that they're supposed to be duochromes. If they are duochromes, then some of my issues make sense because I've been having nothing but trouble with some of the quote-unquote best duochromes and multichromes that people have seen. Everybody else is doing fine with them. I apparently don't know how to work with them and cannot get them to work for me the way they're supposed to. These are not actually advertised as duochromes, however. Although one of them did strike me that it does kind of act like a duochrome, if I can get any of this shit up. This is the one I put on the back of my lid, and in some lighting it has almost a golden brownish, and in the others it's purple. Looks great on the hand. Beautiful on the hand. I don't know if you can see it there. Anyway. However, I messaged them on Instagram to find out if they changed their shimmer formula entirely to what they used in the Christmas one. And I let them know that their tropical palettes, their Hudson Valley palette, a lot of the others right around then were great. I love them. The shimmers were so easy to work with. These are not easy to work with. I'm going to have to disagree with Angela Nyquist on this. This palette was not that easy to work with. I love the color story. Don't get me wrong. Love the color story. Love the mattes. The shimmers. Barring the fact that the toppers just really didn't do anything. I mean, it kind of got something up here, but really didn't do much of anything. The other shimmers in here, they're a struggle. And they are sealed up. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but they sealed up. Okay? I don't know if you can see that on there. They sealed up. I tried to use, well, first of all, one of the things I finally did with the inner corner, because I was just so frustrated, is I grabbed this orange out of here. Now, this is not as dark, but this went on like a dream. Went on, stayed on. It actually helped this one stay in place. Then I went over it again with this one, because this color is so unique and different and beautiful. I'm pulling stuff up and it's flattening out. It is just not working for me. It is it's a pinky orange. This looks like a duochrome. It is gorgeous. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. I'm so frustrated. So I had to use the Hudson Valley to help my inner corners. What you're getting in there is the Hudson Valley giving this one some staying power because it didn't have it by itself. Like I said, it really upsets me because it's absolutely a beautiful color. However, it just it sealed up. I struggled to get it to get on. When I got it on, I struggled to get it to stay on. When I went and did the rest of my face, I just let it melt away. I fixed it so I could go ahead and do our ending. I did contact them and ask them if they've changed their formula. I don't know they have the answer to that yet. However, so two things. We have now had 2 palettes in a row with this, if you'll pardon me, shitty shimmer formula. It's bad. I don't like it. I disagree with Angela Nyquist. If those shimmers had worked the way these shimmers work, this would indeed become a favorite palette very quickly. The color story is amazing and unique to me. I love the, the duskiness of the Morte shades. The Amore shades are not pure pink. They are all a bit off of that pure bright pink that I was kind of thinking of. One's kind of a salmon, and then there's some other interesting tones in there that just look beautiful. But I mean, I don't like fighting with my makeup. I really don't. I want to be able to put it on and have it on and it's done, right? I don't have to worry about having to reapply it 15 times because it's melting off. Now, most palettes do that to me, but I can usually apply it one more time when I'm taking pictures and stuff, and it'll stay there enough. It does appear to be staying there enough now, but I also don't want to have to fight to get the colors onto my eyes, because that only aggravates my issues. I need things to be easier than that, easier than what this was. I'm going to keep it. It's not a cheap palette. I just purchased it. I'm going to keep it. I don't know how often I'm going to be using it, and I suspect I'll be using it mostly for the mattes, and that it is going to become a palette that I use as a support palette. In other words, I won't be doing much that uses mostly this for my eye looks. I just, like I said, the mattes are beautiful. It's these shimmers, and the toppers were pretty much useless for me, so that's also disappointing. Will I purchase from Nomad again? I'm going to say probably. I'm hoping that I could actually look at the next palette that they put out and just look at it objectively and realize that we've had so many problems with these shimmers lately, and fall in love with the color story more than buying it because I really like the company. Because I really do like the company. I have been buying everything since I've really gotten into them. And I still have most of my palettes. Not all of them, but I still have most of the palettes I've bought. And I think I decluttered the Christmas palette and the Oriental Express one, the Orient Express one, and I think one other one. I think I kept the French one. I was going to get rid of the French one, but I think I kept it to keep trying to play with it. This one is so frustrating, I don't even want to keep trying to play with it. So I'll probably keep this for the mattes. The only one out of those 3 that I decluttered that I didn't like was the Christmas palette, and that's because the shimmers did the same as this. No pickup. I mean, I know they were toppers, but there should have been something, and I just really felt there was no pickup. The mattes were gorgeous. I really wouldn't mind having those mattes in another palette because I really enjoyed the mattes, but the rest of it, no. And I'm really disappointed. I have to, like I said, Angela Nyquist and I seem to agree a lot on the brands that we share in common. And I don't know if maybe I got a palette that's too hard pressed or whatever, but if I have to keep using tape or scraping up the top, I'm wasting a lot of product on an actual pretty pricey palette, and that's upsetting too. So Yeah, disappointing. Disappointing. Love the color story. Love the artwork on the palette. Love the mattes. Not happy with the shimmers. And when you're a shimmer girl, that's important. And I'm a shimmer girl, so the shimmers are kind of important. So, do I recommend buying it? I can't say. It really just depends on whether or not the shimmer's not really working, or if you're better at them than I am. It depends on that. If you think that the mattes are worth it, then yes, it's worth it. Other than that, I really can't recommend. If you're a shimmer girl like I am, and you struggle sometimes with specialty formulas, I wouldn't recommend it. Very disappointing to me. I still love Nomad. I'm really hoping that they will consider going back to a previous formula and not use this one anymore. At least soon, because this is... I know that palettes are often... take about a year to 2 years from concept to actual production. So I know they're probably in the middle of whatever they're doing. I'm just going to have to keep that in mind when I get their next, if I see their next palette, which I hope they're not going to be doing one after the other like they did last year. Last year was just so heavy. So many palettes that honestly, if the next one is this one and the color story doesn't call to me, I think skipping on it might be easy for me. It's just, this is just, I'm going to move on. Y'all get it. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. I'm just not happy with what happened with this particular palette. That's this palette. I do think the look is neat. I don't think I'd ever do something like this again. It's just too hard. It's really too hard. It shouldn't be. And I shouldn't have to fight them. That's the biggest deal. I shouldn't have to fight them. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Again, if you are new to us and have not subscribed or anything of that nature, I would really love it if you would do the YouTube bee things and subscribe and like and share and comment and help us get up in the algorithm and all of that. I'd appreciate that. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and take another sip of this tea, which was very interesting and so warm. Our house is so cold. I think I'm going to mention this like half a dozen times, I suspect, in upcoming videos because it is so cold. But we're going to go ahead and give this a sip, and we will get on out of here. Still can't describe it, but I think I like it. That is a very... Okay, it is a really interesting tea. It is not quite a dessert tea, but it is also not quite not a dessert tea. I get them both in there. I get, towards the end of the sip in particular, I get that, oh, what is it? That flavor. It's not bitterness, but it's a flavor that can be associated with bitterness that I find with most, that a lot of non-dessert teas has. But beyond my sugar, it has an actual sweetness to it that is, it's good. I like it. I think I like it. It's just very unique. That's a unique tea. I am going to have to consider putting that in my little bag where all my teas are, because that's different. Fury Forest by Beach House Teas. Anyway, interesting. I've liked it. Anyway, I hope that you liked this video to some degree. You're welcome to disagree with me on the Nomad palette. We all have our own preferences in makeup. We all have our skill levels. I may just need another skill level to work with this palette. Who knows? Alrighty, so that's it. And I hope you had a good one.